Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy, your goy, B3 back with another kicking Toku TV review. Except this time it's not Toku, it's anime. But it's an anime of a traditionally Toku character. Plus it's a kaiju kind of sage in the anime, so I want to do it anyways. Ultraman, the Netflix exclusive Ultraman anime Season 1. This is an adaptation from the manga, and if you are subscribed to my Godzilla and Gigan channel, I've actually reviewed all the English manga for it that have been released officially. I don't read it illegally, so I'm probably behind people that do read the fan translations, but I just read the official releases. But, you know, I was really excited for this manga, and it didn't disappoint. And to be honest, there were actually a lot more changes to the anime than I thought there would be. I think that's just because they had to shorten it because they wanted to get all the way through Ace Killer in 13 episodes, which makes sense. But then there were some changes which really didn't make sense. And someone actually sent me a video on Discord. We have a Discord chat for fans of our channels. You can check that out in the link in the description below. They sent me a link on Discord to a video about the minor and major differences. And I noticed all the differences that it mentioned, except the minor ones, like different clothing on people than in the manga. Like, who cares about that, right? No one cares. But there were major differences. And the video touched on some of them, like Pandan growing giant, and things like that. But they didn't even, like, scratch the surface, really. They didn't even scratch the surface. There are way more differences than that video mentioned. For instance, in the manga, there are not one, but two Bimulars. There's one at the beginning, and then the one after that is the one you see the entire time in the anime. You also have the idol and her father, who are very different from the manga. I didn't reread the manga for this review, because that would have taken me a while, and I got my own comics that I haven't read yet to read. But I seem to remember the idol always being a big Ultraman fan, and her dad being a big Ultraman fan, but he's a fan of the original Ultraman and thinks that the new Ultraman is soiling the name of the original Ultraman. So he doesn't approve of the new Ultraman, but he does approve of the former one, where the idol super approves of both. You know what I mean? It's like a generational thing. He's the Ultraman of her generation. She also finds out his secret identity in the anime, but I do not believe she ever finds it out in the manga. In fact, I think her dad comes close, if not completely figures it out in the manga. But that's all different. And then there's Red King. Red King was completely cut from this anime. Red King is a major character in the manga. He's completely cut. I actually approved of all the changes in the manga. I approved of shortening it a little bit to get more of the story in. They left out this subplot about the black market trading, an alien black market with human corpses. They left all that out. They added new monsters and aliens and stuff. And I thought that was all great. Except for the idol not liking Ultraman, because it seemed like it was really forced. Like she was doing all this public stuff pretending to like Ultraman for her image, and then she didn't like Ultraman, but then she changes her mind almost as soon as we get that reveal. So what was the point? You know? It was really actually quite stupid. And then Red King, who was like Jack's best friend, isn't in it at all. They replaced him with Black King, and then they killed Black King, but Red King lives on in the manga. So I guess when Red King becomes more important down the line, they're just going to have to bring Red King in and all nonchalant-like and add him to the cast. Because they straight up killed Black King. I was pretty disappointed that Red King wasn't in it, but at this point in the story, it doesn't really affect anything, so it's fine. But later, I would like to see Red King, maybe in Season 2, when they go to America and everything, and Ultraman Taro shows up and all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm okay with the Red King thing, but it could cause problems in the future. I wasn't okay with the idol not liking Ultraman at all. That was dumb. But the anime itself as a whole is quite good. Once again, 13 episodes. You can really watch it in an evening. If you can binge it in a day, easy peasy. The animation is quite good. They did motion capture, and motion capture was a great idea because that kind of gives homage to the Toku roots of Ultraman, of men in suits fighting monsters. So that way you still kind of get the humanoid movements you would from Toku, but the aliens actually have all these really cool like moves that humans couldn't possibly do, and it's really fantastic, you know? It looked really good. It really did. So I really liked the animation. There were some times when like a coat was furrowing in the wind or something, and I was like, that looks a little weird. But other than that, you know, it was all good. All the animation was on point for the most part. Lots of my friends don't approve of 3D animation, but I think that's because Berserk put a bad taste in their mouth. Because Berserk had some awful 3D animation, but there's great 3D animation out there. People just aren't used to it. And now I'm going to talk about the acting. I only watched the dub. I'll go back and watch the sub at some point, but I didn't want to just immediately watch the sub and then make a video. So, the dub is actually really good. All the actors do a great job, except the actor who plays the main character, Shinjiro. He's the only one who I thought gave a relatively poor performance. I didn't think he did that great. I really didn't. Everyone else did a fantastic job. Hayata, Dan, Edo, Ace, everybody did a great job. Ace Killer was fantastic. I loved Ace Killer. But Shinjiro, I didn't like his performance very much. It got better towards the end, but I still didn't like it that much, you know? And now we're going to talk about the Ace Killer battle specifically. I wanted to save this for last because it's the end of the season. And it's very different than the manga. I didn't mention it earlier because I wanted to talk about it now. The Ace Killer battle is very different in the manga. In the manga, it's one of the most insane, crazy manga fights I've ever watched. Or read. I absolutely loved it. And it seemed hella toned down so that they could fit it into like 1.5 episodes. Also, I think Ace Killer might be a bit of a different color. I think he's a lighter color in the show than he is in the manga. Because he's on the cover of one of my mangas and he's like a darker color. So Ace Killer and his team, like some of the, like it was Ace Killer, the plant alien dude, and then just a bunch of like generic foot soldiers. And Ace Killer's team had another very unique alien on it that was created just for the manga that they cut entirely, probably just for time. But he was a really cool alien with some awesome moves. The plant guy wasn't nearly as strong as he was in the manga. In the manga, the plant dude was almost invincible. For real. He was very strong. In the manga, Hayata shows up in an Ultraman suit for that battle. There's a lot that did not happen. There's a lot that did not happen, but if you had to rewrite it and shorten it, I think they did the best job they possibly could. It was still a pretty awesome battle. But I do recommend that anyone who has watched the anime still read the manga, because the manga is very, very good. It is better than the anime. I know that sounds like such a cliche weeb thing to say, but it's like the only manga I read, so I don't think that makes me a weeb. Anyways, if you don't want to read the manga, I have reviewed like the first 10 volumes on my Godzilla and Gigan channel. Link in the description below. There should be a playlist for graphic novel reviews. They're all on there. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. If you have Netflix access, you can watch this show very easily. Thank you all once again, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.